1. Who is the author of The Portrait of a Lady? A. Ruskin Bond. B. Kushwant Singh. C. Naipaul. D. Vikram Bhatt. 2. Who is the main character of the chapter, The Portrait of a Lady? A. Mother. B. Sister. C. Grandmother. D. Daughter. 3. How did the grandfather in the portrait hung on the wall look like? A. Old, long white beard, worn big turban. B. Old, skinny, wrinkly. C. Young, handsome, well-built. D. Old, well-built. 4. How did the grandmother look? A. Old, fat, long. B. Long, fat, slightly bent. C. Old, short, slightly bent, fat. D. Slightly bent, fat. 5. When did the author's parents leave him with his grandmother? A. When he was a kid. B. When he was an infant. C. When he became a teenager. D. When he failed and became a teenager. 6. Which animal did the grandmother use to feed in the village? A. Dogs. B. Cows. C. Sparrows. D. Cats. 7. What did the author eat for breakfast? A. Thick and stale chapatis with a little butter and sugar spread in it. B. Thick bread with butter. C. Upma. D. Rice and curd. 8. Why would grandmother accompany the author to his school? A. To keep an eye on him. B. To wait for him to take him back to home. C. Because of the temple attached to school. D. She wanted to meet villagers. 9. Where were the parents of the author? A. Abroad. B. City. C. Other village. D. Other state. 10. What would the grandmother do in the temple on a daily basis? A. Meditation. B. Read scriptures. C. Sing religious prayers. D. Teach other kids religious prayers. 11. What was the turning point of the friendship between grandmother and author? A. When he became an adult. B. When his parents called them both to the city. C. When he left her to live in the city with his parents. D. When they stopped talking. 12. Where did the author go to study in the city? A. English school and motor bus. B. By walking down to nearby school. C. Hindi school. D. Nowhere. 13. What made the grandmother unhappy about the author's new English school? A. The fact that she could no longer help him with the lessons. B. Because they were in city. C. Because she didn't understand English. D. Because she didn't understand English and could no longer help him with the lessons. 14. Why didn't the grandmother like music? A. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentle folk. B. She liked only religious prayers. C. She liked the traditional folk music. D. She thought it would distract him from studies. 15. How did the grandmother spend her time in the city? A. Feeding dogs. B. Reading scriptures. C. Spinning the wheel. D. Talking to neighbors. 16. How did the grandmother spend her afternoon every day? A. By feeding hundreds of sparrows. B. By taking a nap. C. By talking to author's mother. D. By going to temple. 17. What happened when the author moved abroad to study for 5 years? A. Grandmother bid goodbye by silently kissing his forehead. B. No one came to see him. C. Grandmother moved back to village. D. Parents moved with him. 18. What change came in the grandmother's evening schedule? A. She collected the women of the neighborhood. B. She would go for a walk. C. She would sleep early. D. She would talk to his parents. 19. What happened when the grandmother didn't pray for the first time? A. She fell ill the next day. B. She made this her routine. C. She took a break and went to the village. D. None of the above. 20. How did the grandmother react to her illness? A. She said her end was near. B. She ignored her health. C. She took care of her. D. She was admitted to the hospital. 21. What did the grandmother do in her final hours? A. Talk to everyone in the house. B. Worried about everyone. C. Silently praying and telling her beads. D. Went to the temple. 22. How did the grandmother die? A. During telling beads laying on the bed. B. In the hospital. C. While sleeping. D. None of the above. 23. How did the sparrows express their sorrow at the death of their grandmother? A. They didn't come that day. B. They came and sat silently in the veranda. C. They ate the breadcrumbs. D. They chirruped a lot. 24. What happened when they took the grandmother's corpse away? A. Neighbors visited them to pay condolences. B. They mourned her death in her room. C. Birds flew away quietly. D. Nothing happened. 25. How do you feel about the character of the grandmother in the chapter? A. Emotional. B. Strong. C. Selfless. D. Loving. 26. Where was the author's grandfather's portrait placed? A. On a shelf. B. Hung above the mantelpiece. C. Put on the mantelpiece. D. On a table. 27. Did the author bother to learn the morning prayers that his grandmother recited? A. Yes. B. He listened but did not bother to learn. C. He could not learn. D. No. 28. When was their common link of friendship snapped? A. When he went to college. B. When he went to the university, they were given separate rooms. C. When he started working. D. When he went abroad. 29. What was grandmother's reaction when the author was going abroad? A. Happy. B. Sad. C. Not even sentimental. D. Sentimental. 30. What was her reaction when he came back after 5 years? A. Overwhelmed. B. Clasped the author in her arms and said prayers. C. Happy. D. Sentimental. 1. From where did the ship sail for the voyage? A. America. B. Mexico. C. Germany. D. Plymouth, England. 2. Why did the author decide to go for a round-the-world voyage? A. To duplicate the voyage made 200 years ago by Captain James Cook. B. To see the world. C. To settle down in different country. D. To show his children the world through ship. 3. What was the occupation of the author? A. Businessman. B. Sailor. C. Teacher. D. None of the above. 4. What was the name of the ship of the author? A. Amazon. B. Wave walker. C. Wave ship. D. Sailor ship. 5. What part of the journey was pleasant for them? A. First leg, from England to Cape Town. B. Last part of the journey. C. First few months. D. Never. 6. What were the names of the 2 crewmen whom the author hired? A. Shelley and Cabell. B. Larry Vigil and Herb Siegler. C. Herb Siegler and Shelley Cooper. D. Larry Vigil and Adam Moore. 7. Why did the author hire the 2 crewmen? A. To take rest from long the voyage. B. To help tackle one of the world's roughest seas, the Southern Indian Ocean. C. Because he could no longer sail the ship. D. He wanted to spend some time with his family. 8. When did the waves start getting gigantic? A. December 25th. B. January 2nd. C. November 30th. D. December 31st. 9. What did they do to slow down the boat in the storm? A. Stop sailing. B. Drop the storm jib and lashed a heavy mooring rope. C. Just dropped the storm jib. D. Did nothing and waited for storm to calm down. 10. What was the first indication of disaster? A. Around 6 p.m. when winds dropped and sky grew darker. B. Next morning when the ship started creaking. C. When it started raining. D. When winds were strong. 11. What happened after the first indication of the disaster? A. A wave appeared vertical and almost twice the height of other waves. B. It broke the ship from inside. C. The ship turned upside down. D. It didn't affect the ship. 12. How did the explosion affect the ship? A. A torrent of green and white water broke over the ship. B. The ship started sinking. C. The ship turned upside down. D. None of the above. 13. Why did the author accept his approaching death? A. Pirates had attacked the ship. B. Because he was injured by the explosion. C. He was thrown in the sea. D. He was stabbed. 14. What did the author see when his head popped out of the water? A. The ship was sinking. B. The ship was nowhere to be seen. C. The ship was near capsizing, her masts almost horizontal. D. It was still standing. 15. What happened to the author's body when he managed to reach the deck? A. His head smashed again. B. His left ribs cracked, mouth filled with blood and broken teeth. C. He broke his leg. D. His broke his left hand. 16. Who said, "We're sinking"? A. His crewman. B. Mary. C. His daughter. D. His son. 17. What was the condition of the ship? A. Broken timbers, starboard side bulged inwards, clothes, crockery, shards, tins and toys sloshed. B. Their personal belongings were missing. C. Water filled in every room and their clothes were missing. D. Can't say. 18. What had happened to Sue when the author entered their room to check on them? A. Her head hurt as there was a bump. B. She was unconscious. C. Her legs hurt. D. She was fine. 19. What was the age of Suzanne and Jonathan? A. 8 and 9 years old. B. 7 and 6 years old. C. 10 and 7 years old. D. 4 years and 6 years. 20. How did the author manage to stretch the canvas? A. By repairing the holes. B. By asking crewmen for help. C. It happened on its own. D. The problem got over as the storm had passed. 21. What happened after the hand pump started to block up with the debris floating around the cabins? A. The author connected an electric pump to an out pipe. B. By taking out water with the help of bucket. C. By repairing hand pump. D. The author found another hand pump. 22. Where did they decide to reach to save themselves and the ship? A. Australia. B. Isle Amsterdam. C. Mumbai, India. D. Japan. 23. What was their first meal in 2 days? A. Meatloaves. B. Bread and milk. C. Noodles. D. Corned beef and cracker biscuits. 24. Who said, "We aren't afraid of dying if we can all be together, you and Mummy, Sue and I"? A. John. B. Crewmen to each other. C. Suz. D. Mom. 25. When did they reach LLE Amsterdam? A. Around 6 p.m. in the evening. B. Never reached there. C. At 11 in the next morning. D. They decided to take different route. 26. What was the status of the ship on January 3rd? A. Pumps had the water level sufficiently under control. B. Condition was getting worse. C. They were still struggling to control the pumps. D. Everything was just right. 27. How long did they take for the ship's testing and fitting? A. Months. B. Few days. C. 2 years. D. Few weeks. 28. Where had they reached on the 25th of December? A. 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. B. They were suffering the waves away from Cape Town. C. 2,500 km from Cape Town. D. Reached Cape Town. 29. What happened when the author's head smashed into the wheel? A. He was hurt but steady. B. He flew overboard sinking below the waves. C. He was not hurt. D. He gained control immediately. 30. What does Mayday call mean? A call made in the month of May. B. Distress call for help. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. 1. Who was Tutankhamun? A. A geologist. B. A scientist. C. An Egyptian king. D. A historian. 2. When did Tut die? A. When he was a teenager. B. When he was old. C. When he was in middle age. D. When he was a child. 3. Who discovered Tut's tomb and when? A. Adam Cooper in 1901. B. Howard Carter in 1922. C. Howard Carter in 1930. D. Sam Shaw in 1890. 4. When was Tut's body taken for CT scan after being found? A. After 1 year. B. After 80 years. C. After 50 years. D. After 30 years. 5. For how many years did Amenhotep III rule Egypt? A. 5 years. B. 20 years. C. 10 years. D. 40 years. 6. Who promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk? A. Tutankhamun. B. Amenhotep III. C. Amenhotep IV. D. None of the above. 7. What name did Amenhotep IV change to? A. Amarna. B. Atul. C. Akhenaten. D. Amenhotep III. 8. For how many years did Tutankhamun rule Egypt? A. 9. B. 11. C. 2. D. 5. 9. What was found with Tutankhamun's body? A. Gold. B. Egyptian gold coin. C. Nothing as such. D. Gold, wealth, bronze razor, games, clothes, cases of food and wine. 10. How would you describe Tut's tomb? A. Gold-plated. B. Rock-cut. C. Wall paintings with gold plate. D. Rock-cut, 26 feet underground, which had wall paintings. 11. What was in the first coffin? A. Garlands of olives, lotus petals, and cornflowers. B. Flowers and coins. C. Gold, wealth, bronze razor, games, clothes, cases of food and wine. D. It was empty. 12. Why did the third coffin put Carter in trouble? A. It was empty. B. The resins used to cement Tut to the bottom of the solid gold coffin, which was hardened enough. C. The material found inside was already looted. D. None of the above. 13. How did Carter remove the resins? A. With the help of chisel and hammer. B. With the help of chemicals. C. With the help of machinery. D. With the help of manpower. 14. How did Carter cut the body of Tut? A. First head and then every limb. B. First leg and then head. C. First legs, head and then limbs. D. Limb, hand only. 15. What did Carter and his men do after cutting down his body? A. They sent it for X-ray. B. They examined them carefully. C. They placed it on the layer of sand in a wooden box. D. They clicked photographs. 16. When was the mummy examined in X-ray by the anatomy professor? A. In 1945. B. In 1986. C. In 1968. D. Never. 17. What facts were revealed when the mummy was X-rayed in 1968? A. His several possessions were missing. B. His hip bone was missing. C. His breastbone and front ribs were missing. D. His feet bone was missing. 18. When was Tut's body taken for CT scan in the 21st century? A. January 5, 2005. B. January 10, 2007. C. June 9, 2001. D. February 12, 2009. 19. What does CT scan stand for? A. Computed telegraphy. B. Computed tomography scan. C. Card topology. D. Computer technology. 20. How did the workman lift the body for the scan? A. Through the stairs. B. On a hydraulic trailer. C. Through sliding. D. Through a lift. 21. Why did the procedure stop in between? A. As spare fan stopped working. B. As the light went off. C. As the lift broken. D. None of the above. 22. When was Tut's body taken back in his tomb after CT scan? A. After a day. B. After 3 hours. C. After 12 hours. D. After 5 hours. 23. What is the cemetery of Tut called? A. Valley of the Kings. B. Tut's resting place. C. Resting peace. D. Valley of Flowers. 24. How did Tut die? A. It is a mystery. B. Due to heart attack. C. Due to cancer. D. During a war. 25. Who said the mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s? A. Carter. B. Zahi Hawass. C. An anatomy professor. D. A. Egypt historian. 26. Tut was laid to rest, laden with A. Platinum. B. Aluminium. C. Gold. D. Silver. 27. When did Tut die? A. 22,000 years ago. B. More than 33,000 years ago. C. 10,000 years ago. D. 16,000 years ago. 28. What was Tut lavished with? A. Gold, silver, flowers. B. Lots of jewels. C. Glittering goods, precious collars, inlaid necklaces and bracelets. Rings, amulets, a ceremonial apron, sandals, sheaths for his fingers and toes, all of pure gold. D. Expensive clothing. 29. How has archaeology changed through the decades? A. Focuses more on a treasure. B. Focuses more on physical findings. C. Focuses on time factors more. D. Focusing less on treasure and more on the fascinating details of life and mysteries of death. 30. Who is Osiris? A. God of nature. B. God of afterlife. C. God of seasons. D. God of universe. 1. What two forms of art did the author contrast in this chapter? A. Indian ancient art and Chinese art. B. Chinese art and European art. C. American art and European art. D. European art and Greek art. 2. Who did the Tang Emperor Xianzong commission to decorate a wall in the palace? A. Axis Iamai. B. Vaihuquizit. C. Wu Deizai. D. Wu Shami. 3. Who was the Chinese emperor during the 8th century? A. Tang Emperor Xianzong. B. Yongle Emperor Zhu Di. C. Jinwen Emperor Zhu Yunwen. D. Taiakan Emperor Zhu Changluo. 4. Where did the painter draw the attention in the painting? A. Sun. B. Palace. C. Birds. D. A cave at the foot of the mountain. 5. What happened when the painter entered the cave? A. The entrance closed behind him. B. The painting vanished. C. Nothing happened. D. It was only a dream. 6. What happened when the painter clapped his hands? A. The painting on the wall was gone and so was the painter. B. The emperor entered the cave. C. Painter falls. D. The wall collapsed. 7. Why didn't the painter want to draw an eye of a dragon? A. He feared that the painting would not look good. B. He feared that the dragon would fly out of the painting. C. He feared that dragon will seem real. D. Because he didn't want it to work. 8. What do the books of Confucius and Zhuangzi teach? A. To guide his disciple in the right direction. B. To not fear the superiors. C. To not to suppress your thoughts. D. None of the above. 9. What was the name of the blacksmith in the 15th century Antwerp? A. Adam Mulch. B. Soldern Metzies. C. Laurie Adam. D. Quentin Metzies. 10. Why didn't the father approve of the love of his daughter and the blacksmith? A. Due to his profession. B. Due to his caste. C. Due to his appearance. D. None of the above. 11. What did Quentin do to get into apprenticeship into his master's studio? A. Asked him to admit him to. B. Drew a fly on his latest panel that looked real. C. Gave an interview. D. Drew a dragon. 12. What did the two forms of art depict? A perfect, illusionistic likeness in Europe, the essence of inner life and spirit in Asia. B. A perfect, illusionistic likeness in Asia, the essence of inner life and spirit in Europe. C. Perfect art form in Asia and realness in Europe. D. It depicted nothing. 13. What does the word Deo mean? A. Perfection. B. Both the path or the method, and the mysterious works of the universe. C. Mystery. D. Royal. 14. What does the Chinese landscape depict? A. They are not real and one can enter from any viewpoint. B. They produce an actual viewpoint. C. They are not imaginary. D. None of the above. 15. What does leisurely movement mean? A. Relaxed movement. B. Hurried action. C. Pleasure action. D. None of the above. 16. What did the Chinese painter want the viewer to do? A. He wants the viewer to enter his mind. B. He wants the viewers to admire his painting. C. He wants them to imagine the scene. D. He wants them to feel like they are inside of the scene. 17. What does the concept of shan shui represent? A. Imaginary place. B. Worship. C. Mountain water which when used together represents the word landscape. D. None of the above. 18. What does yin mean? A. Water, horizontal and resting on the earth, fluid, moist and cool. B. Mountain, vertically towards heaven, stable, warm, and dry in the sun. C. Neutral action. D. None of the above. 19. What does yang mean? A. Mountain, vertically towards heaven, stable, warm, and dry in the sun. B. Water, horizontal and resting on the earth, fluid, moist and cool. C. Neutral action. D. Receptive, feminine aspect of universal energy. 20. What is the role of man in between heaven and earth? A. He is in a path. B. He is a sinner. C. He is meant to do actions. D. He becomes the conduit of communication. 21. What was Francois Chang's expression? A. The center of the landscape. B. The eye of the landscape. C. The center of the universe. D. The left side of the yang. 22. Where had the master hidden the masterpiece for the emperor to see? A. In a room. B. Behind a screen. C. Underground place behind. D. A cupboard. 23. What does the European figurative painting mean to the viewer? A. Illusion. B. Imagination. C. Exactly as he sees it from a specific angle. D. View of the painter. 24. What is the essential third element? A. Left void. B. Middle void. C. Yang. D. Yin. 25. What is the third element compared with? A. Prayer. B. Travel. C. Yogic practice of pranayama. D. Nirvana. 26. Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metzies fell in love with A. Daughter. A. Emperors. B. Painters. C. Ministers. D. Masters. 27. What according to the painter dwells in the cave? A. A spirit. B. Magic. C. Mystery. D. Dragon. 28. How did the cave open? A. Painter said a prayer. B. With a magic spell. C. Painter clapped his hands. D. With a command. 29. What path does the Chinese painter's art create? A. Horizontal. B. Vertical. C. A path for your eyes to travel up and down, then back again, in a leisurely movement. D. Stillness. 30. Chinese art requires participation of the viewer. A. Passive. B. Emotional. C. Active. D. Methodological. 1. What was the issue raised by the author in the chapter, The Ailing Planet? A. Global warming. B. Save water. C. Save electricity. D. Deteriorating health of the earth. 2. When did the Green Movement help environmentalists to raise awareness about the harmful condition of the earth? A. 1992. B. 1972. C. 1987. D. 1970. 3. When was the Sustainable Development used by the World Commission on Environment and Development? A. 1987. B. 1992. C. 1990. D. 1986. 4. What did the sign in the zoo in Alaska read? A. Animal. B. Lion. C. The world's most dangerous animal. D. Warning. 5. Where was the message, the world's most dangerous animal, written in the zoo? A. Board. B. Mirror. C. Wood. D. Bark of the tree. 6. Who raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? A. Brand Commission. B. Brundtland Commission. C. UN World Commission. D. None of the above. 7. What are the 4 principal biological systems that form the foundation of the global economic system? A. Water, air, sand, forests. B. Ocean, forests, deserts, land. C. Fisheries, grasslands, forests, and croplands. D. Fisheries, grasslands, oceans, land. 8. What will the grasslands turn into if systems become unsustainable? A. Turn into a barren wasteland. B. Turn into desert. C. Soil quality will deteriorate. D. Nothing as such. 9. What happens to the forest in poor countries? A. They are cut down for fuel wood. B. They cut down for furniture. C. They grow them into a large number. D. Nothing as such. 10. What is leading to deforestation at an alarming rate? A. Sale of fuel wood. B. Sale of vegetables. C. Building up of houses. D. Sale of wood for burning purpose. 11. What is one of the reasons for the exploitation of the environment? A. Increasing population. B. Global warming. C. Animal extinctions. D. Water. 12. What is the best contraceptive for overpopulation? A. Development. B. Education. C. By saving water. D. Reforestation. 13. What is the meaning of holistic and ecological view? A. The preservation of the environment. B. Saving of the water resources. C. Saving trees. D. Rainwater harvest. 14. At what rate is the world's ancient patrimony of tropical forests eroding? A. At the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. B. At the rate of 1 million per year. C. At the rate of 90 million per year. D. None of the above. 15. Which article of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country? A. Article 48A. B. Article 51A. C. Article 48A, 1. D. Article 52. 16. At what rate are the forests in India depleting? A. At the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. B. At the rate of 36.7 million acres a year. C. At the rate of 13.7 million acres a year. D. None of the above. 17. What does the 3-year study conducted by the United Nations state? A. Environment has deteriorated that it is critical in 88 countries. B. Forests are being cut down at an alarming rate. C. There is not much of drinking water left. D. Fossil fuels are getting extinct at a fast rate. 18. Complete this line from the chapter, The Rich Get Richer, and the Poor Beget Children _____. A. To work harder. B. Which condemns them to remain poor. C. To remain poorer. D. To get richer. 19. What is the transcending concern? A. The survival of the planet. B. The survival of forests. C. Global warming. D. To save water. 20. Who said, no generation has a freehold on this earth? All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease? A. Mr. Edgar S. Woolard. B. UN World Commission. C. Donald Trump. D. Margaret Thatcher. 21. Who said, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Mr. Edgar S. Woolard. C. Mr. Lester Brown. D. Brand Commission. 22. When did the Green Movement start? A. 35 years ago. B. 15 years ago. C. Nearly 25 years ago. D. 20 years ago. 23. Where was the first nationwide Green Party founded? A. USA. B. Australia. C. New Zealand. D. Canada. 24. What is the concept of sustainable development? A. Development of the future. B. Development for the present. C. Development that meets the needs of the present, without compromising the ability of future generations. D. Environmental development. 25. Scientists have catalogued about living species with which mankind shares the earth. A. 1.4 million. B. 1.6 million. C. 1.8 million. D. 1.2 million. 26. Who wrote the book The Global Economic Prospect? A. L.K. Jaw. B. Lester R. Brown. C. James Speth. D. Edgar S. Willard. 27. What forms the foundation of the global economic system according to Lester Brown? A. Fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands. B. Land and water. C. Forests, fisheries, grasslands. D. Fisheries and forests. 28. Who said that tropical forests are the powerhouse of evolution? A. Edgar S. Willard. B. L.K. Jaw. C. Dr. Myers. D. James Speth. 29. Every 4 days the world population increases by A. 1.5 million. B. 1 million. C. 1.7 million. D. Half a million. 30. Has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. A. Agriculture. B. Fishery. C. Industry. D. Afforestation. 1. Who has written the Browning version? A. Terence Rattigan. B. Mr. Edgar S. Willard. C. Mr. Lester Brown. D. Khushwant Singh. 2. Who are the 3 characters of the play, the Browning version? A. Taplow, Alice, and Mr. Harrow. B. Taplow, Frank, and Mrs. Harris. C. Taplow, Frank, and Mr. Crocker, Harris. D. Alice, Frank, and Mr. Crocker, Harris. 3. What is the age of Taplow? A. 14. B. 16. C. 20. D. 5. 4. What does Frank do? A. Student. B. Teacher. C. Principal. D. Parent. 5. Who is Mr. Crocker Harris? A. Principal. B. School teacher. C. Middle-aged schoolmaster. D. Don't know. 6. Where is the starting scene of the play set? A. School classroom. B. School playground. C. Home. D. Road. 7. What was Taplow doing on the last day of school? A. Extra work. B. Time pass. C. Can't say. D. Completing homework. 8. In which class does Taplow study in? A. Lower 5th. B. 7th. C. 9th. D. Lower 10th. 9. Why does Taplow have to do extra work? A. Because he has missed his previous week due to illness. B. Because he didn't perform well in his studies. C. Because he was there to help his teacher. D. Because he was called by his teacher. 10. Why does Taplow want science as a remove? A. Because he has no option. B. Because he finds the subject extremely interesting. C. Because he is confused. D. Can't say. 11. Why did Taplow call Mr. Crocker, Harris hardly human? A. Because he is a sadist. B. He is all shriveled up. C. He is very rude to everyone. D. He finds peace in failing students. 12. What book was Taplow reading? A. History textbook. B. The Agamemnon. B. Julius Caesar. D. English novel. 13. At what time was Mr. Harris supposed to come to school? A. 6:30. B. 7. C. 11. D. 12. 14. Why was Frank jealous of Mr. Crocker, Harris? A. Because of the effect he has on students. B. Because of his fame. C. Because he was senior schoolmaster. D. Because he was paid well. 15. What short name does Taplow call Mr. Crocker, Harris in his absence? A. Crock. B. Harris. C. Crocker. D. Teacher. 16. How does Taplow react when Mr. Crocker, Harris cracked a joke in the class? A. He laughed. B. He ignored it. C. He asked him what it meant. D. He did nothing. 17. What is the name of Mr. Crocker, Harris's wife? A. Millie Crocker, Harris. B. Miley Crocker, Harris. C. Haley Crocker, Harris. D. Never noticed. 18. When did Mrs. Crocker, Harris enter the classroom? A. When Taplow and Frank were discussing Mr. Harris. B. When no one was in the classroom. C. With Mr. Crocker, Harris. D. When only Taplow was in the classroom. 19. How would you describe Millie Crocker, Harris? A. Thin woman, late 30s, smartly dressed. B. Fat woman, 40s. C. Thin woman, in her 20s. D. Thin women, smartly dressed. 20. Who said the lines, "Come along, Taplow"? Do not be so selfish as to keep a good joke to yourself. A. Mr. Crocker, Harris. B. Millie. C. Frank. D. Principal. 21. Why was Taplow worried that Mrs. Crocker, Harris might have heard what they were saying? A. As she had been standing for a few minutes when they were busy talking. B. As she interrupted them talking about his husband. C. As she heard them talking about Principal. D. Don't know. 22. What was Millie carrying when she entered the classroom? A. Basket. B. Books. C. Knits. D. Flowers. 23. Where was Mr. Crocker, Harris? A. At the bursar's. B. At home. C. At market. D. At library. 24. What did Millie suggest to Taplow in her husband's absence? A. To go to chemist to get her prescription filled. B. To go to his home. C. To play golf. D. To wait. 25. Does Taplow think that Mr. Crocker, Harris is based? A. Yes. B. No. C. Maybe. D. Can't say. 26. How is Mr. Crocker, Harris different from other teachers? A. As he is not biased. B. As he is strict. C. As he is old. D. As he is rude. 27. How did Frank react upon the arrival of Mrs. Crocker, Harris? A. He was happy. B. He was nervous. C. He was relieved. D. Nothing as such. 28. Who was Agamemnon? A. He was American astrologer. B. He was an Egyptian king. C. He was the king of Mycenae in Greek mythology. D. Don't know. 29. What does remove mean in the chapter? A. A division in British schools. B. Take away something. C. Unfasten. D. Get rid of. 30. Does Mr. Crocker, Harris come to the school in the play? A. Yes. B. No. C. Maybe. D. Can't say. 1. What is the name of the protagonist of the story, The Adventure? A. Professor Ajay Sharma. B. Professor Gangadhar Pant. C. Professor George Bush. D. Professor Gangadhar Pant. 2. Where was Professor Gautam traveling to? A. From Pune to Bombay. B. From Pune to Delhi. C. From Bombay to Pune. D. Nowhere. 3. What is the name of train by which Professor Gautam was traveling? A. Deccan Queen. B. Rajdhani Express. C. Jajamata Express. D. Shatabdi Express. 4. Whom did Professor Gautam met during his train journey? A. Khan Sahib. B. Pathan. C. Gupta. D. Professor George. 5. Where did Professor Gautam and Khan Sahib got off? A. Bombay Station. B. Indore. C. Nowhere. D. Victoria Terminus Station. 6. Did the professor see British officers, Parsis and Anglo-Indian staff all around at Victoria Terminus Station? A. Yes. B. No. C. Don't know. D. Maybe. 7. What did the professor notice at the Hornby Road? A. Shops were different. B. Road was constructed. C. New shopping complex. D. New residential complex. 8. Whom did Professor Gautam inquire about on entering the Forbes building? A. President of the company. B. Mr. Vishal Gautam. C. Mrs. Vishal Gautam. D. Mr. Vinay Gautam. 9. Why did the professor go to town hall? A. To check facts from history books. B. To pass time. C. To read books. D. To meet someone. 10. What did Professor start investigating at town hall? A. American history. B. Battle of Plassey. C. The period of Azoka to the Third Battle of Panipat. D. About East India Company. 11. What did Professor find in the 5th volume of Basi Banchi Bakar? A. Marathas had won the Battle of Panipat. B. India has never been under British Raj. C. Marathas had won Battle of Plassey. D. None of the above. 12. What happened after the Battle of Panipat in India? A. India merged with neighboring nations. B. India moved to the path of democracy. C. New ruler. D. British rule ended. 13. Why did Professor start liking the new India that he was reading about? A. This country knew how to stand on its feet. B. It was different from the one he knew. C. In this form, India was a wealthy nation. D. As he liked the ruler in this new country. 14. What book did the professor slip into his pocket before leaving the library? A. Bakar. B. English literature. C. Newspaper. D. Money. 15. Towards which place did the professor decide to take a walk after having his dinner? A. Post office. B. Monday. C. D. Azad Maiden. 16. What did the professor notice at the lecture going on in the panel? A. There was no crowd. B. Presidential chair was empty. C. The speaker was very old. D. The language in which the lecture was unfamiliar. 17. What did the professor do when he noticed the empty chair? A. He sat on the chair. B. He went away. C. He stood in the crowd. D. He went back to his guest house. 18. How did the crowd react when he sat on the empty presidential chair? A. Threw several objects at him and pushed him away. B. Asked him to leave politely. C. Heard his speech. D. Did nothing but ignored him. 19. What happened after the empty chair incident? A. He was in the hospital. B. He went to his room. C. He went to meet his friend. D. He decided to go back. 20. Whom did the professor meet at the hospital? A. Rajendra. B. Doctor. C. Speaker. D. Librarian. 21. Why did Professor Rajendra say that the incidents narrated by Gautam were not real? A. As he was in coma for 2 days. B. As he was not well. C. As his mental state was not good. D. As Rajendra wanted to believe in facts. 22. Which theory as explained by Rajendra states that a small change in any situation can result in a shift in behavior? A. Quantum theory. B. Theory of relativity. C. Big Bang theory. D. Catastrophe theory. 23. According to which of the two theories did the incident with Professor Gautam happen? A. Quantum theory and theory of relativity. B. Only Big Bang theory. C. Catastrophe theory and lack of determinism in quantum theory. D. Catastrophe theory and theory of relativity. 24. What happened tomorrow that's in reality? A. They lost the battle. B. They won the battle. C. They signed treaty after the battle. D. Nothing as such. 25. What happens in the case of electrons in lack of determinism in quantum theory? A. Electrons don't move from their path. B. Electrons merge with other atoms. C. One cannot predict which path the electron takes at a point of time. D. None of the above. 26. What happens once the observer knows about the correct placing of the electrons in every world? A. Alternative worlds can exist at the same time. B. Black hole can be created. C. A new compound can be observed. D. A new substance can be created. 27. In reality, was the professor in 2 different worlds at the present time? A. Yes. B. No. C. Maybe. D. Can't say. 28. What did you notice about both the worlds? A. Both were same. B. Both were in different universe. C. Different people. D. Different histories and different sets of events. 29. For how many days did the professor live in the alternative world? A. 1 day. B. 2 days. C. 3 days. D. A week. 30. Where did the train stop beyond the tunnel? A. A small town called Amur. B. A small town called Sarhad. C. Delhi. D. Mountains. 1. Who is the poet/poetess of the poem A Photograph? A. Shirley Towson. B. Rudyard Kipling. C. Elizabeth Jennings. D. Marcus Nathan. 2. What is the poem A Photograph about? A. About poet's childhood memories. B. Tribute to the poet's mother. C. Poet's photograph. D. Poet's father. 3. What was the age of the poet's mother when the photograph was taken? A. 11 years old. B. 13 years old. C. 12 years old. D. 14-year-old. 4. When did her mother die? A. 2 years ago. B. 5 years ago. C. 13 years ago. D. 12 years ago. 5. How many people were in the photograph? A. 2 girls. B. 3 girls. C. 2 girls and 1 boy. D. Only her mother. 6. Which material was the frame of the photograph made of? A. Cardboard. B. Wood. C. Steel. D. Plastic. 7. Who are on both sides of her mother? A. Cousins, Betty and Dolly. B. Parents. C. Cousins, Dolly and Adam. D. Friends. 8. What are the 3 of them doing in the photograph? A. Playing. B. Standing beside house. C. Holding hands. D. Holding hands and went for paddling. 9. Who took the photograph of her mother with her cousin? A. Her grandfather. B. Her uncle. C. Her mother's friend. D. Her grandmother. 10. What does terribly transient feet mean in the poem? A. Her feet represent the mother, who changed with time while the sea remained the same. B. Temporary situation. C. Age is temporary. D. None of the above. 11. After how many years did her mother laugh on seeing the photograph? A. 21. B. 23. C. 12. D. 25. 12. What was the favorite memory of her mother? A. Beach holidays. B. School memories. C. Vacations. D. None of the above. 13. What was the favorite memory of the poet? A. Her mother's memories. B. Her mother's laughter. C. Her own vacation memories. D. Her childhood memories. 14. What would the mother show to her daughter while showing her the photograph? A. How her parents dressed her for the beach. B. Her cousins. C. Her own childhood photograph. D. The background. 15. What is the meaning of the word wry? A. Ironic. B. Cry. C. Sad. D. None of the above. 16. What oxymoron literary device was used in the poem? A. Terribly transient. B. Through there. C. Both wry. D. Labour at ease. 17. What epithet literary device was used in the poem? A. Terribly transient. B. Through there. C. Both wry. D. Labour at ease. 18. How many phases were depicted in the poem by the poet? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. 19. What was the last phase in the poem? A. After her mother died. B. After she grown up. C. After her mother grown up. D. None of the above. 20. What does she feel in the last phase? A. Pain and grief. B. Happy and nostalgic. C. Sad and nostalgic. D. Pain and nostalgic. 1. How did the poet describe the top of the laburnum tree in the poem, the laburnum top? A. Still and silent. B. Moving and angry like. C. Silent and motionless. D. None of the above. 2. What happened to the leaves of the laburnum tree? A. They were green. B. Turned yellow. C. Fallen down. D. New leaves growing. 3. How was the tree standing in the month of September? A. Still and death-like. B. Alive. C. Green and happy. D. Still and green. 4. When did the death-like tree become alive? A. In the month of March. B. By the arrival monsoon season. C. By the arrival of the goldfinch bird. D. By the arrival of sparrows. 5. Why did the goldfinch bird come towards the tree? A. To feed her young ones. B. To make a nest. C. To rest. D. None of the above. 6. Where are the young ones of the goldfinch bird? A. On the thickness of the branch. B. On the top of the tree. C. On other tree. D. They were never there. 7. What role does the tree play for the goldfinch bird? A. As a shelter. B. As a supporter. C. As a means to feed her family. D. As a resting place. 8. How did the bird move to the other side of the branch? A. Like a lizard. B. Slowly. C. Smoothly. D. By flying. 9. How did the bird arrive at the other branch of the tree? A. With a chirping sound. B. Silently. C. Never arrived at other branch. D. Flew away and then arrived at the branch. 10. What happened after she fed her young ones? A. She flew away. B. She flew to the other side of the branch. C. She stayed there. D. She took some rest in the nest. 11. Why was Goldfinch's body barely visible? A. Due to her dark-colored yellow body. B. Because she was small. C. Because of the height of the tree. D. Because she was brown in color. 12. Where did the bird vanish after feeding her young ones? A. To the other branch. B. To the top of the tree. C. To her nest. D. Behind the yellow leaves. 13. What happened to the bird in the end of the poem? A. She flew away. B. She stayed at the tree. C. She went to other tree. D. She went to bring some food for her younger ones. 14. How was the tree in the end when the bird flew away? A. It was still alive. B. Nothing changed in the looks. C. It was death-like again. D. None of the above. 15. What instance of alliteration has been used in the poem, The Laburnum Top, out of the following options? A. Engine of her family. B. Her barred face. C. Sleek as a lizard. D. September sunlight. 16. What transferred epithet was used in the poem, The Laburnum Top? A. Her barred face identity mask. B. Engine of her family. C. Sleek as a lizard. D. September sunlight. 17. What does the phrase, her barred face identity mask, mean? A. Because she was brown in color. B. Due to her dark-colored yellow body. C. Bird's face became her identity and symbol of recognition. D. None of the above. 18. What is the dominant color used in the poem? A. Red. B. Blue. C. Yellow. D. Green. 19. What is described by the word sleek in the poem? A. Lizard. B. Bird. C. Branch. D. Top of the tree. 20. What is described as engine in the poem? A. Lizard. B. Machine. C. Laburnum tree. D. None of the above. 1. The poem, The Voice of the Rain, is a conversation between ____. A. Poet and rain. B. Poet and mountains. C. Rain and trees. D. Birds and rain. 2. What does the poet ask to the soft, falling shower? A. What do you do? B. What is your name? C. Who are you? D. How are you doing? 3. What does the rain reply to the poet's question, who are you? A. She is rain. B. She is poem of earth. C. She is rain from mountains. D. She is poem of mountains. 4. Why does the rain tell the poet that she cannot be touched? A. Because she is water. B. Because she rises in the form of water vapor. C. Because she is in the form of clouds. D. None of the above. 5. From which two places does the rain rise in the form of water vapor? A. Land and bottomless sea. B. Land and ocean. C. Mountains and land. D. None of the above. 6. What happens to the earth when the rain falls back on the surface of earth? A. It provides water. B. It beautifies and purifies the earth. C. It helps in greenery. D. It provides water to flora and fauna. 7. How does the rain help the seeds inside the earth? A. Provides water. B. Provides life and helps them grow. C. Provides life. D. None of the above. 8. What does the rain do when she doesn't care if anyone bothers about her deeds or not? A. She talks to the land. B. She works harder. C. She completes her work and talks to the earth. D. She completes her work and comes back home. 9. What does the poet compare the rain with? A. Song. B. Heaven. C. Beauty. D. Flowers. 10. Why does the poet compare the rain with a song? A. Because she beautifies the earth. B. Because she provides life on earth. C. As they both share a common journey. D. None of the above. 11. From where does the song originate? A. From heaven. B. From ocean. C. From the heart of the singer. D. From the soul of earth. 12. If the poet has used a metaphor in the poem, what is it? A. I am the poem of earth. B. Voice of the rain. C. Soft falling shower. D. None of the above. 13. What hyperbole was used in the poem? A. I am the poem of earth. B. Soft falling shower. C. Bottomless sea. D. Voice of the rain. 14. What happens to the rain in the sky? A. Raindrops form. B. Rain it condenses. C. It forms clouds. D. None of the above. 15. What does the word descend mean? A. Not clear. B. Come down. C. To wash. D. Hidden. 16. Why does the rain descend to the earth? A. To wash the drought and provide water. B. She provides life on earth. C. It beautify and purify the earth. D. It provides life. 17. What does rec-d or unrec-d mean? A. Enrichment or no enrichment. B. Cared for or not cared for. C. To purify or not. D. To wash or not to wash. 18. Where does the song return in the poem? A. To its originator, i.e. singer. B. To the poet. C. To earth. D. To ocean. 19. What is the meaning of who art thou? A. Who are you? B. What are you? C. How are you? D. Whose art is this? 20. Who is the poet of the poem, The Voice of the Rain? A. Walt Whitman. B. Khushwant Singh. C. Naples. D. Shirley Towson. 1. What is the poem Childhood about? A. Poet's lost childhood. B. Childhood of every person. C. Childhood of poet's child. D. Poet's father's childhood. 2. After what age did the poet realize that he had lost his childhood? A. 12. B. 11. C. 10. D. 13. 3. What the poet could not find in the geography book. A. Hell and heaven. B. End to sky. C. Island. D. Country. 4. What did the poet find out about hell and heaven? A. They could be found in geography books. B. They were imaginary places. C. They were in America. D. They were in India. 5. What did the poet realize about adults? A. That they are mature. B. They have to earn money. C. They are not what they seem to be. D. They are cunning. 6. Why are the adults not what they seem to be? A. They talk and preach of love but do not act so. B. They are very shrewd. C. They are selfish. D. They are lazy. 7. What did the poet realize about his mind when he lost his childhood? A. That he can use it in whichever way he wants. B. That he is very intelligent. C. That he is dumb. D. That he cannot use it in whichever way he wants. 8. What did the poet conclude about his lost childhood at the end of the poem? A. It went to another dimension. B. It went to some forgotten place. C. It moved away with time. D. It shifted to his younger sibling. 9. Where could he see his childhood now? A. In an infant's face. B. Only in his memories. C. Nowhere. D. In his brother. 10. What type of rhyme scheme is used in the poem Childhood? A. Abob. B. Ababa. C. Abob. D. Ab. 11. Who is the poet of the poem Childhood? A. Shirley Towson. B. Walt Whitman. C. Marcus Natton. D. Naple. 12. What is the meaning of the word ceased? A. Starting of something. B. Come to an end. C. In the middle. D. To chase something. 13. What is the opposite of the word hidden? A. Open. B. Closed. C. Partial. D. Exposed. 14. According to the poet, adults are underscore. A. Hypocrites. B. Smart. C. Lovable. D. Intelligent and cunning. 15. What did the poet sense about himself when he realized he could use his own mind the way he wants? A. He sensed that he is as intelligent as his friends. B. He sensed his own individuality and a separate personality. C. He sensed that he is very smart. D. He sensed that he could use his mind in creative work. 16. What refrain literary device is used in the poem Childhood? A. When did my childhood go? B. Hell and heaven. C. Could not be found in geography. D. That's all I know. 17. Antithesis is where two opposite words are used together in a sentence in a poem. Where did the poet use it? A. Infant's face. B. Forgotten place. C. Hell and heaven. D. Preached of love. 18. Which of these is not one of the options where the poet thinks that his childhood has gone? A. The time when he ceased to be 12. B. The time when he realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography. C. The time when he realized that adults were hypocrites. D. None of the above. 19. Which poetic device has been used in the following line? Was it when I found my mind was really mine? A. Alliteration. B. Simile. C. Metaphor. D. Personification. 20. What question does the poet put forth? A. When did my childhood go? B. Where did my childhood go? C. Both A and B. D. None of these. 1. Who is the poet of the poem Father to Son? A. Walt Whitman. B. Shirley Towson. C. Elizabeth Jennings. D. Khushwant Singh. 2. What is the poem Father to Son about? A. Unsettling relationship between father and son. B. Father's old age. C. Son comparing him to his father. D. Father talking to son about his childhood. 3. How old is the son when his father rants about his agony to his son? A. Teenager. B. Grown up. C. Child. D. Just became an adult. 4. Father tells him that although they have lived in the same house for years, he underscore. A. Envy him. B. Adore him. C. Doesn't understand him. D. Finds him cunning. 5. What happened when he tried to build a relationship with him in his childhood? A. He was successful. B. His efforts were in vain. C. He was halfway successful. D. None of the above. 6. Does father know about his son's likes and dislikes? A. Yes. B. No. C. Maybe. C. Can't say. 7. Why does the father use I in a line, the seed I spent, or sown it where he was talking about communication gap? A. To acknowledge his role in the communication gap. B. To acknowledge himself. C. To let his son know his importance. D. To make him understand about him. 8. Despite all his efforts to fix the communication gap, was the son able to understand him? A. Yes. B. No. C. Can't say. D. Maybe. 9. What is the meaning of, this child is built to my design yet what he loves I cannot share? A. His son looks like him and they share everything with each other. B. His son looks like him yet they don't have anything to share. C. His son doesn't look like him. D. Neither does his son looks like him nor he understand him. 10. What is the meaning of word prodigal used in the third stanza? A. Understanding son. B. Someone who is smart. C. Spending money freely. D. Someone who doesn't spend money freely. 11. Is there a silence between the father and the son? A. Yes. B. No. C. Can't say. D. Maybe. 12. Since his son was prodigal, why does he want him to come back home? A. To make amends with him. B. To teach him a lesson. C. To give him money. D. None of the above. 13. Does the father want his son to move around in his own world? A. Yes, absolutely. B. Not at all. C. Maybe. D. None of the above. 14. Why was the father ready to forgive him? A. To let go of all the sorrows he had inside. B. To become a better person. C. To teach his son a lesson. D. To help his son. 15. When the son spoke for the first time, does he also feel sad about the distance between them? A. Yes, he did. B. No, he did not felt anything. C. Maybe in his heart. D. He never thought about it. 16. What does the son share about him understanding himself? A. He is at a point where he doesn't understand himself. B. He understands him so well. C. He don't want to think about it. D. He is very busy to think about understanding himself. 17. From where does the son's anger arise? A. Out of his nature. B. Out of his sadness. C. Out of his father's attitude. D. Out of his childhood memories. 18. What happens when they both put out an empty hand for the others to seek? A. Efforts are always in vain. B. They got successful in the end. C. Father wasn't interested. D. They never had a chance to talk. 19. Find out the simile used in the poem Father to Son. A. Silence surrounds us. B. The seed I spent or sown it where. C. We speak like strangers. D. Yet what he loves I cannot share. 20. Which of the following is an alliteration? A. Silence surrounds us. B. We speak like strangers. C. I do not understand this child. D. I would have. Q1. Who is the author of The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse? A. A. J. Cronin. B. William Wordsworth. C. William Shakespeare. D. William Saroyan. Q2. What were the hallmarks of the Garoclanian tribe? A. Trust. B. Honesty. C. Both, A, and B. D. None of the above. Q3. The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse is a story of two boys. A. Armenian. B. Arabian. C. Assyrian. D. African. Q4. Murad enjoyed being _____ more than anybody else. A. Crazy. B. Alive. C. Funny. D. None of the above. Q5. What according to Aram, was his first longing? A. To own a horse. B. To become rich. C. To ride a horse. D. To visit a vineyard. Q6. Why couldn't Aram believe when he saw Murad with a horse? A. Because Murad was crazy. B. Because they were poor to afford a horse. C. Because he was sleepy. D. Because he was dreaming. Q7. Where did Aram live? A. In the center of the town. B. In the country. C. Olive Avenue. D. At the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Q8. How does Aram describe the horse? A. Magnificent and lovely. B. Beautiful white horse. C. Both, A, and B. D. None of the above. Q9. No member of the Garoclanian family could be ____________________________________________________________________________________________________________________ B. Rich. C. A thief. D. Crazy. Q10. Murad was considered the natural descendant of his A. Father. B. Uncle. C. Grandfather. D. Great-grandfather. Q11. How would you describe Uncle Khosrov? A. Hot-tempered. B. Irritable. C. Impatient. D. All of the above. Q12. What did Uncle Khosrow do to stop anyone from talking? A. By beating them. B. By walking away. C. By shouting at them. D. By ignoring them. Q13. What was Uncle Khosrow's customary line? A. Ignore it, pay no attention. B. Forget it. C. It is harmless, ignore it. D. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. Q14. When Aram rode the horse alone, it ran down the road to the A. Vineyard. B. Irrigation ditch. C. Field. D. Countryside. Q15. Murad had been hiding the horse. A. In a stable. B. In a barn of a vineyard. C. At a secret place of his house. D. None of the above. Q16. What was the behavior of the horse initially? A. It wanted to be trained. B. It wanted to rest. C. It wanted to run wild. D. All of the above. Q17. What sort of an understanding did Murad mention with the horse? A. Mature. B. Simple and honest. C. Complicated. D. Difficult. Q18. John Biro learned to speak Armenian out of underscore. A. Necessity. B. Fun. C. Eagerness. D. Loneliness. Q19. Who was the true knower of the horse? A. John Biro. B. Fetvahian. C. Dikran Halbian. D. Zorob. Q20. For how long did Murad have the horse before Aram got to know about it? A. 1 day. B. 1 year. C. 1 month. A. 1 week. Q21. At what time did Aram and Murad ride the horse? A. Late night. B. Early morning. C. Evening. D. Afternoon hours. Q22. I have a way with farmers. Who says it to whom? A. Aram to Murad. B. Murad to John Biro. C. Aram to John Biro. D. Murad to Aram. Q23. John Biro said, a suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. What does it tell about him? A. He believed in the honesty of the Rocklanian family. B. He was impractical. C. He was foolish. D. None of the above. Q24. Why did the horse's owner refuse to believe that the boys had stolen his horse? A. Because he didn't examine the horse carefully. B. Because their family was known for honesty. C. Because he had found his horse elsewhere. D. Because his horse had a twin. Q25. When did the boys return the horse? A. After Aram learned to ride it. B. After a year. C. After 6 months. D. After they ran into John Biro. Q26. Why did the boys return the white horse to its owner? A. Because they were conscience-stricken. B. Because they were afraid. C. Because they found it difficult to hide the horse. D. Because they were accused of theft. Q27. After the horse was stolen and returned, it became underscore. A. Rougher. B. Sick and ill. C. Stronger and better tempered. D. Both, A, and C. Q28. Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned. Who said this? A. Murad. B. Aram. C. Uncle Khosrow. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q29. Who is the narrator of the story, The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse? A. William Saroyan. B. Aram. C. John Biro. D. Murad. Q30. What ideas/theme does The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse entails? A. Honesty. B. Honor. C. Trust. D. All of the above. Q1. How did Mrs. Dorling treat the author when the author visited her? A. Warm and welcoming. B. Cold and inhospitable. C. Overjoyed. D. Both, A, and C. Q2. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. Who is her? A. Mrs. S. B. Mrs. Dorling's daughter. C. Mrs. Dorling. D. Mrs. S.'s daughter. Q3. In what attire did the author find Mrs. Dorling? A. Author's mother's green knitted cardigan. B. Author's green knitted cardigan. C. Author is unable to recognize it. A. Not mentioned in the story. Q4. I thought that no one had come back. Why does Mrs. Dorling say this? A. Because she was happy to see the protagonist. B. Because she had been waiting for the protagonist for a long time. C. Because she thought everyone in the protagonist's family were dead. D. None of the above. Q5. What was the address that the author's mother asked her to remember? A. Number 50, Marconi Street. B. Number 46, Baker Street. C. Number 54, Marconi Street. D. Number 46, Marconi Street. Q6. Mrs. Dorling's was of Mrs. S. A.'s sister. B. An old acquaintance. C. An old friend. D. A relative. Q7. Mrs. Dorling took the possessions of the things on the pretense of underscore. A. Using them. B. Selling them. C. Keeping them safe. D. Both, A and B. Q8. Was the author convinced with her mother's idea of letting Mrs. Dorling take away their things? A. Absolutely. B. Partially. C. Not at all. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q9. How does the author describe Mrs. Dorling when she saw her the first time during the war? A. A woman with a broad back. B. A woman with a round back. C. A woman with a straight back. D. None of the above. Q10. Why did the author wait for such a long time before visiting the address? A. Because she was not interested. B. Because she was afraid to confront her mother's belongings. C. Both, A and B. D. None of the above. Class 11 Important links. Q11. Why had the author come to visit Mrs. Dorling? A. Because Mrs. Dorling had belongings of author's mother. B. Because Mrs. Dorling called her. C. Because she missed Mrs. Dorling. D. None of the above. Q12. Who opened the door upon the author's second visit to Mrs. Dorling's house? A. Mrs. Dorling. B. Mrs. Dorling's daughter. C. Mrs. Dorling's husband. D. No one opened the door. Q13. Unlike Mrs. Dorling, her daughter was underscored towards the author. A. Rude. B. Mature. C. Hospitable. D. Mean. Q14. What was the protagonist's reaction when she entered the living room? A. Thrilled. B. Emotional. C. Nervous. D. Horrified. Q15. I was in a room I knew and did not know. What does author mean by this? A. She saw familiar things but in unfamiliar surroundings. B. She saw unfamiliar things but in familiar surroundings. C. She did not recognize the things she saw. D. She did not want to remember anything. Q16. How does the author describe the living room? A. Muggy smell. B. Strange atmosphere. C. Sophisticated. D. Both, A and B. Q17. In what condition did the author find the living room? A. Haphazard. B. Well arranged. C. Empty. D. Old-fashioned. Q18. The author remembered that the woolen tablecloth had A. An ink mark. B. A defect. C. A burn mark. D. None of the above. Q19. According to the author, when do we notice the things in the house? A. When they are out of our sight. B. When they are used. C. When they are shown. D. All of the above. Q20. What was the silver that the author was once asked to clean by her mother? A. Jewelry. B. Cutlery. C. Sculptures. D. Stones. Q21. Why did the author leave Mrs. Dorling in a hurry? A. Because she was getting late for the train. B. Because she no longer wanted to stay there. C. Both, A and B. D. None of the above. Q22. Why did the objects lose their value for the author? A. Because their prices fell down. B. Because they were difficult to take along. C. Because she had new objects. D. Because she saw them in different surroundings. Q23. At the end, what does the author decide? A. To forget the address. B. To visit next year again. C. To remember the address forever. D. None of the above. Q24. Who is the protagonist of the address? A. Mrs. Dorling. B. Mrs. S.'s daughter. C. Mrs. S. D. Mrs. Dorling's daughter. Q25. The author had come to visit Mrs. Dorling ________ the war. A. During. B. Before. C. After. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q26. What was the very first out of her mother's possessions that the protagonist could recognize? A. Hanukkah candle holder. B. Woolen tablecloth. C. White teapot. D. Green knitted cardigan. Q27. In total, how many times did the author visit the given address? A. Twice. B. Once. C. Thrice. D. Never. Q28. Who is the author of the address? A. Manon Uphoff. B. Margomenko. C. Marin Tamur. D. None of the above. Q29. After reading the address, how would you describe Mrs. Dorling? A. Materialistic. B. Selfish. C. Opportunist. D. All of the above. Q30. What message does the address talk about? A. Importance of things. B. Not to trust someone. C. Human predicament of war. D. None of the above. Q1. Who is the writer of the play Mother's Day? A. A. J. Cornyn. B. William Wordsworth. C. Patrick Pringle. D. J. B. Priestley. Q2. What does the play Mother's Day talk about? 1a. Status of the mother in the family. 2b. Status of the father in the family. 3c. Status of the children in the family. 4d. Status of the family in the society. Q3. How does the author describe Mrs. Fitzgerald? 5a. Worried looking. 6b. Sinister looking. 7c. Has a deep voice. 8d. Both B and C. Q4. Mrs. Fitzgerald is A underscore of Mrs. Pearson. 9a. Relative. 10b. Neighbor. 11c. Maid. 12d. None of the above. Q5. It's wonderful having a real underscore living next door. Complete the dialogue. 13a. Doctor. 14b. Writer. 15c. Fortune teller. 16d. Chef. Q6. Where did Mrs. Fitzgerald learn to tell the future? 17a. The West. 18b. The East. 19c. The Middle East. 20d. Not mentioned in the play. Q7. How does Mrs. Pearson describe her family members? 21a. Thoughtless and selfish. 22b. Pleasant and helpful. 23c. Hardworking. 24d. Mindful. Q8. In what endeavor does Mrs. Fitzgerald help Mrs. Pearson? 25a. To see future. 26b. To make her family treat her well. 27c. To run errands. 28d. None of the above. Q9. How would you describe Mrs. Pearson? 29a. Dominating. 30b. Considerate. 31c. Compliant. 32d. Both B and C. Q10. How does Mrs. Fitzgerald plan to help Mrs. Pearson? 33a. By talking to Mrs. Pearson's family. 34b. By listening to Mrs. Pearson rants. 35c. By swapping personalities with Mrs. Pearson. 36d. Both A and B. Q11. Mrs. Pearson was underscore about Mrs. Fitzgerald's plan. 37a. Excited. 38b. Hesitant. 39c. Sure. 40d. Envious. Q12. What is the first thing that Doris does as soon as she enters the house? 41a. Asks her mother to give her tea. 42b. Asks her mother to cook something for her. 43c. Asks her mother about her day. 44d. Asks her mother to iron her yellow silk. Q13. What makes Doris astounded as soon as she enters the house? 45a. The sight of her mother smoking. 46b. Because the tea was not ready. 47c. Because her mother was not there. 48d. None of the above. Q14. Where was Doris headed for the night? 49a. She had to work overtime. 50b. She was going out with Charlie Spence. 51c. She was going for her friend's birthday. 52d. She had some appointment. Q15. Buck teeth and half-witted, who has been described here? 53a. Cyril Pearson. 54b. George Pearson. 55c. Charlie Spence. 56d. Mrs. Fitzgerald. Q16. What are the changes that Mrs. Pearson referred to Cyril? 57a. Change in the way she is treated by the family. 58b. Changes in her daily routine. 59c. Changes related to her work. 60d. None of the above. Q17. Why was Doris red-eyed? 61a. Because of an infection. 62b. Because of a fight. 63c. Because of crying. 64d. Because she was getting ready to head out. Q18. Well, she's suddenly all different. Who said this and for whom? 65a. Cyril for Doris. 66b. Doris for her mother. 67c. Cyril for her mother. 68d. George for Doris. Q19. How does the author describe George Pearson? 69a. Pompous. 70b. Solemn. 71C 50-ish. 72D. All of the above. Q20. What was George's reaction when he saw his wife drinking stout during daytime? 73A. He did not like it. 74B. He did not mind. 75C. He accompanied her. 76D. He ignored her. Q21. Mrs. Pearson tells George that he is being __ at the club. 77A respected. 78B laughed upon. 79C called names. 80D. Both B and C. Q22. According to Mrs. Pearson, where Cyril had been wasting his time and money. 81A races. 82B ice shows. 83C. Both A and B. 84D clubbing. Q23. It's that silly old bag from next door, Mrs. Fitzgerald. Who said this? 85A Doris. 86B Cyril. 87C George. 88D Mrs. Pearson. Q24. What does George mean when he says, we're at 6s and 7s here? 89A. In a state of confusion and disorder. 90B. In the middle of a conflict. 91C. In the middle of taking a decision. 92D. In a state of agony. Q25. When do Mrs. Pearson and Mrs. Fitzgerald get back to their original selves? 93A. When Mrs. Pearson's family gets to know about them. 94B. When they both get bored. 95C. When the situation goes out of hand. 96D. None of the above. Q26. Mrs. Pearson's family had been towards Mrs. Pearson. 97A respectful. 98B polite. 99C biased. 100D unappreciative. Q27. Mrs. Fitzgerald asks Mrs. Pearson to be __ with her family. 101A rude. 102B polite. 103C ignorant. 104D firm. Q28. What does Mrs. Pearson suggest them to do for that night? 105A family game of rummy. 106B getting the supper ready. 107C. Both A and B. 108D. None of the above. Q29. The attitude of Mrs. Pearson's family changes towards her. Comment. 109A. No. 110B. Yes. 111C. Maybe. 112D. Not clear from the story. Q30. What message does the author of Mother's Day try to convey? A. To appreciate wives/mothers for their work. B. To work hard for your mother. C. To spend time with family. D. To respect everyone. Q1. Who is the writer of The God of the Only World? A. Amitabh Ghosh. B. Aga Shahid Ali. C. James Merrill. D. Saket Mehta. Q2. When did Shahid speak to the author about his approaching death? A. April 25, 2000. B. February 2000. C. October 27, 2001. D. April 25, 2001. Q3. The God of the Only World is written by the author as a promise to his _____________________________________________________________________________________________________________________. B. Father. C. Friend. D. Sister. Q4. Aga Shahid Ali was undergoing a treatment for _____. A. Neurosis. B. Cancer. C. Knee injury. D. Slip disc. Q5. What did Shahid want the author to do after his death? A. Inform his family. B. Draw a painting in his memory. C. Write a song for him. D. Write something about him. Correct A and SD. Q6. When did Shahid have his first blackout? A. February 2000. B. April 2001. C. February 1999. D. April 2000. Correct A and S. A. Q7. According to the author, what was the most impressive work of Shahid? A. Barcelona Airport. B. His writings of Kashmir. C. The country without a post office. D. None of the above. Correct A and SC. Q8. When did Shahid and the author become friends in a real sense? A. When they studied in the Delhi University. B. When Shahid moved to Brooklyn. C. When the author moved to Manhattan. D. When a common friend introduced them to each other. Correct A and SB. Q9. Shahid and the author had shared love for A. Rogan Josh. B. Kishore Kumar. C. Roshnara Begum. D. All of the above. Correct ANSD. Q10. The author has described Shahid as a person. A. Unsociable. B. Pessimistic. C. Sociable. D. None of the above. Correct ANSC. Q11. Shahid described the view of the Brooklyn waterfront slipping into the East River as A. Got. B. Waterfall. C. Fountain. D. None of the above. Correct ANS. A. Q12. Even after he knew about his nearing death, what did Shahid enjoy? A. Being left alone. B. Gatherings at his home. C. Poetry. D. Both. B. and C. Correct ANSD. Q13. Who had a great influence on Shahid's poetry? A. Amitabh Ghosh. B. Saket Mehta. C. James Merrill. D. Roshnara Begum. Correct ANSC. Q14. Shahid had a special passion for which food in particular? A. Bengali food. B. Kashmiri food in the Pundit style. C. Traditional foods. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q15. No matter what the question, Shahid worked into his answer. Complete the sentence. A. Poetry. B. Passion. C. Nationalism. D. Music. Q16. As a teacher, Shahid was by his students. A. Disliked. B. Adored. C. Envied. D. Worshipped. Q17. What did Shahid describe as the happiest time of his life? A. His time in Arizona. B. His time at New York University. C. His time at Manhattan's College. D. His time at Penn State. Q18. Shahid's parents continued to live in A. Manhattan. B. Srinagar. C. New York. D. Jammu. Q19. Shahid by inclination was a political poet. A. Yes. B. Somewhat. C. No. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q20. Did Shahid write about being a victim of Kashmir's destiny? A. Yes. B. No. C. Somewhat. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q21. Shahid firmly believed in politics and religion. A. Separating. B. Interconnecting. C. Mingling. D. None of the above. Q22. Shahid always believed in members of all religions. A. Separation. B. Inclusiveness. C. Nationalism. D. Differentiation. Q23. Once in his childhood, what did Shahid's mother help to create in his room? A. Murthy. B. A holy scripture. C. An artwork of Hindu gods. D. A Hindu temple. Q24. What was Shahid's reaction when he got to know that there was not much hope? A. He panicked. B. He was calm and untroubled. C. He got depressed. D. He isolated himself. Q25. Shahid wanted to go to during his last days. A. Northampton. B. New York. C. Kashmir. D. None of the above. Q26. Shahid was in a continuous conflict with his approaching end. A. False. B. Maybe. C. True. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q27. Shahid passed away while he was A. Driving. B. Asleep. C. Cooking. D. Writing. Q28. When did Shahid pass away? A. December 8, 2001. B. October 27, 2001. C. April 25, 2001. D. May 5, 2001. Q29. What impact did Shahid's death have upon the author? A. He remains unaffected. B. He moved out of his place to distract himself. C. He felt a deep void. D. Not mentioned in the story. Q30. After reading The God of the Only World, what impression do you have of Shahid? A. He was depressed due to his disease. B. He was full of life. C. He enjoyed people's company. D. Both. B. and C. Q1. Who is the author of Birth? 113 A. A. J. Cornyn. 114 B. J. B. Priestley. 115 C. Andrew Manson. 116 D. Edward Page. Q2. Andrew did his medical practice under the assistance of 117 A. Dr. Page. 118 B. Dr. Morgan. 119C Dr. William. 120D Dr. Shane. Q3. Who was waiting for Andrew at midnight? 121A Dr. Edward. 122B Christine. 123C Joe Morgan. 124D Mrs. Morgan's mother. Q4. Where did Joe Morgan live? 125A number 11, Blaina Terrace. 126B number 14, Brindauer. 127C number 12, Blaina Terrace. 128D number 12, Brindauer. Q5. How does the author describe the bedroom of Joe's house? A. Well furnished. B. Poorly furnished. C. Dirty. D. Both, B, and C. Q6. How has the author described Mrs. Morgan's mother? 129A wise. 130B gray-haired. 131C. In her 70s. 132D. All of the above. Q7. When Andrew approached, Susan was accompanied by her mother and 133A Joe. 134B father. 135C a midwife. 136D mother-in-law. Q8. Don't fret, mother, I'll not run away. Why did Andrew say this? 137A. To reassure Mrs. Morgan's mother. 138B. To fulfill his obligations. 139C. To break the silence. 140D. To handle a critical situation well. Q9. Andrew decided to underscore at Joe's house. 141A sleep. 142B study. 143C stay. 144D eat. Q10. While waiting at Joe's house, what did Andrew think about? 145A Mrs. Morgan condition. 146B failed marriages. 147C Christine. 148D. Both, B, and C. Q11. How was the newborn child? 149A healthy. 150B lifeless. 151C underweight. 152D anemic. Q12. What dilemma did Dr. Andrew confront? 153A. Whether the child could be saved or not. 154B. Whether the treatment would be successful. 155C. Whether to attend the child or the mother. 156D. Whether to inform Joe or not. Q13. In the dilemma he faced, what did Andrew do? 157A check upon Susan first. 158B check upon the child first. 159C ran away. 160D left it to handle to the midwife. Q14. Where had the midwife placed the stillborn child? A. She held the child in her arms. B. Gave him to Susan's mother. C. Under the bed. D. Handled him to Joe. Q15. What did Andrew conclude from the whiteness of the child? 161A. That he was dead. 162B. That he suffered from lack of oxygen. 163C. That he should be taken to hospital. 164D. That Andrew couldn't save him. Q16. What did Andrew remember about Samaritan? 165A. A place he went to volunteer. 166B. Someone he met there. 167C. A treatment he witnessed. 168D. Not mentioned in the story. Q17. What all things did Andrew use in the treatment? 169A. Hot and cold water. 170B. Basins and towels. 171C. A blanket. 172D. All of the above. Q18. How did Andrew try to save the stillborn? 173A. Using a special method of respiration. 174B. Calling Dr. Edward. 175C. Taking him to a hospital. 176D. Giving him blood. Q19. After trying for 15 minutes, Andrew felt underscore. 177A accomplished. 178B hopeful. 179C hopeless. 180D confident. Q20. What did Andrew remember in the middle of ongoing treatment? 181A. About his love for Christine. 182B. Morgan family's longing for a child. 183C. His time in Samaritan. 184D. About his obligation as a doctor. Q21. Why did the child become slippery in Andrew's hand? 185A. Because of atmosphere in the room. 186B. Because Andrew was losing his focus. 187C. Because of constant juggling between waters. 188D. None of the above. Q22. How long did it take for Andrew's efforts to yield results? 189A. 15 minutes. 190B. All efforts went into vain. 191C. 1 hour. 192D. Half an hour. Q23. What does the author refer to as a miracle? 193A. Life getting into the stillborn. 194B. Morgan family welcoming a child. 195C. Susan getting consciousness. 196D. None of the above. Q24. But her hands were together, her lips moved without sound. Who is her? 197A. Susan. 198B. Midwife. 199C. Mrs. Morgan's mother. 200D. Not clear from the story. Q25. Why did Andrew get oblivious to all the work he had done in Blainelly? 201A. Because he got all hopeless. 202B. Because he did something extraordinary that night. 203C. Because he was leaving Blainelly. 204D. Because he got tired. Q26. During the whole incident, Joe did not enter the house. Why? 205A. Because he was superstitious. 206B. Because he didn't want to disturb. 207C. Because he didn't want to see the child. 208D. Because he was anxious. Q27. After how many years were Joe and Susan blessed with a child? 209A. 10 years. 210B. 1 year. 211C. 5 years. 212D. 20 years. Q28. Why is the lesson named birth? 213A. Because the doctor is specialist in childbirths. 214B. Because a lot of childbirths take place. 215C. Because it is about birth of a child. 216D. Because it talks about philosophy of life. Q29. Birth of Susan's child was a turning point in Dr. Andrew's life. Do you agree? 217A. Absolutely. 218B. Not at all. 219C. Partially. 220D. Not clear from the story. Q30. What can you say about Dr. Andrew after reading Birth? He did not put all his efforts. He fulfilled his obligations well as a doctor. His skills were not enough. He was arrogant. Q1. The Tale of the Melon City is written by _A. Amitabh Ghosh. B. Arundhati Roy. C. Vikram Seth. D. Idris Shah. Q2. How does the writer describe the king? A. Arrogant. B. Just and placid. C. Egocentric. D. Merciful. Q3. What did the king order to be constructed? A. An arch. B. A tomb. C. Footsteps. D. A building. Q4. What was the purpose of the construction ordered by the king? A. To continue a legacy. B. To solidify the king's rule. C. To improve viewers morally. D. To carry out a ritual. Q5. What happened when the king rode down the thoroughfare? A. The crowd cheered. B. No one was impressed. C. The king's crown fell. D. Not mentioned. Q6. Why did the king's crown fall? A. Because the arch was built too low. B. Because he lost his balance. C. Because the crown was heavy. D. Because he was attacked. Q7. This is a disgrace. What was a disgrace? A. Poorly built arch. B. Unenthusiastic crowd. C. Crown being stroked. D. None of the above. Q8. What order did the king give after the incident? A. He ordered workmen to be hanged. B. He ordered to hang the chief of builders. C. He ordered to summon the architect. D. He ordered to gather all people. Q9. Who did the chief of builders blame? A. The public. B. The architect. C. The masons. D. The workmen. Q10. What reason did the workmen give to the king? A. Instructions given were wrong. B. Time provided was less. C. Bricks were of the wrong size. D. Changes were made at the last point. Q11. According to the architect, who made the amendments? A. The king. B. The chief of the builders. C. He himself. D. The masons. Q12. Listening about his own hanging, who did the king call for? A. The oldest man in the country. B. The wisest man in the country. C. The wisest minister in his administration. D. All the people. Q13. Who according to the council was the culprit that was brought before the king? A. The king. B. The crown. C. The arch. D. The chief of the builders. Q14. Why was it shameful to hang the arch? A. Because it was innocent. B. Because it was non-living. C. Because it was newly built. D. Because it had touched the king's head. Q15. After all the considerations and discussions, the crowd was getting underscore. A. Restless. B. Amused. C. Horrified. D. Bored. Q16. What was the public demand that the king sought to fulfill? A. They wanted no one to be hanged. B. They wanted a hanging. C. They wanted the arch to be demolished. D. They wanted a new king. Q17. How was the public demand fulfilled? A. By voting. B. By the king's discretion. B. By measuring height one by one. D. By the councillor's decision. Q18. Finally, who was tall enough to reach the noose? A. The chief of the builders. B. The architect. C. Someone from the crowd. D. The king. Q19. Who was to choose the next king? A. The next to pass the city gate. B. The ministers. C. The public. D. The heir of the deceased king would be the king by rule. Q20. Who passed the city gate? A. An old wise man. B. An idiot. C. A beggar. D. A child. Q21. Who was chosen as the new king? A. A minister. B. A horse. C. A melon. D. A sword. Q22. Why did the idiot reply the way he did? A. Because he liked melons. B. Because he rode horses. C. Because he knew how to use sword. D. Because he grew melons. Q23. What sort of perception does the public hold for their chosen king after so many years? A. They don't like him. B. They are enraged. C. They like him very much. D. They have no problem whatsoever. Q24. What is most important to the public of the state? A. Their peace and liberty. B. How the state is ruled. C. Their wealth. D. Their involvement in state decisions. Q25. What sort of principles seem to thrive in the state? A. Democratic. B. Laissez-faire. C. Authoritative. D. Communistic. Q26. After reading The Tale of the Melon City, what opinion do you form of the king? A. He was a just king. B. He was a rule-abiding king. C. He was a foolish king. D. He was a wise king. Q27. Do you think that the king took his notion of justice too far? A. No, he did what a just king would do. B. Maybe. C. Yes, he lost his life in the process. D. Cannot determine. Q28. What impression do you form of the crowd of the state? A. They were of no good. B. They were supportive of their king. C. They were indifferent who was throned. D. Both. A. and C. Q29. The ministers were foolish to ask an idiot about their next king. Do you agree? A. Yes. B. No. C. Partially. D. Not clear from the poem. Q30. What is the genre of The Tale of the Melon City? A. Thriller. B. Humorous. C. Ironical. D. Both. B. and C. Q2. What was the name of Albert Einstein's history teacher? Mr. Vey. Mr. Braun. Mr. Cook. Not mentioned in the lesson. Q3. According to Einstein, learning facts is not avoidable, wasteful, education, easy. Q4. What was Albert's theory of education? Giving importance to ideas than to facts. Learning all important facts. Memorizing. Writing everything. Q5. How did Albert feel about going to school every day? Cheerful. Scared. Miserable. Grateful. Q6. How long did Albert's father want him to attend the school for? Until he comes to love the school. Until his father called. Until he completes his diploma. None of the above. Q7. Where did Albert Einstein reside during his schooling? At home with his family. At the quarters of Munich. At his friend's house. At a place provided by school. Q8. The place where Einstein lived had underscore. No comfort. Bad food. Dirt and squalor. All of the above. Q9. Albert Einstein had a friend named underscore underscore. Yuri. Elsa. Braun. Cook. Q10. Yuri mentions a fight in which a scar is a underscore underscore underscore. Symbol of defeat. Badge of honor. Proof of weakness. None of the above. Q11. What was the name of Albert Einstein's cousin? Yuri. Cook. Elsa. Braun. Q12. What was Albert's cousin's suggestion to him to help him get through his exams? To understand everything that was taught. To learn without understanding. To pay attention in the class. To find a good tutor. Q13. According to Einstein, what was a good enough reason, to study something? It has to be a part of curriculum. When the reader was forced to study. If the reader likes it. All of the above. Q14. Apart from books on science, what comforted Albert Einstein? Playing on streets. Drawing and painting. Calligraphy. Music and playing violin. Q15. How did Albert Einstein plan to leave the school? By getting a certificate of nervous breakdown from a doctor. By running away. By calling his father to help him out of school. By asking the head teacher. Q16. Einstein was underscore 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 with his own idea of leaving school. Sad. Joyous. Terrified. Doubtful. Q17. Who helped Albert in finding a doctor who would help him in fulfilling his plan to leave the school? His father. Elsa. Yuri. No one. Q18. He's not a fool, Yuri warned Albert. Who is he? The head teacher of school. Albert's maths teacher. Albert's father. Dr. Ernst Vey. Q19. Albert was underscore about his appointment with the doctor. Worried. Thrilled. Annoyed. Passive. Q20. What did Albert plan to do after he left school? Look for a job. Get into college or institute. Start his own business. Do nothing. Q21. For how long was Albert supposed to stay away from school as per the certificate? 1 month. 2 months. 6 months. 3 months. Q22. The doctor seemed to understand what Albert was going through because underscore. He himself had been a student. He was paid well. He was new at being a doctor. None of the above. Q23. I'll never go back to that place. Which place is Albert referring to? His home in Milan. His school. His room in quarter of Munich. Berlin. Q24. How did Albert plan to get into a college? By giving an entrance exam. Through his father's reference. By getting a reference from his history teacher. By getting a reference from his mathematics teacher. Q25. How much did the doctor charge from Albert? Asked Albert to invite Yuri for a meal. Asked Albert to invite him for a meal. His consultation fees. None of the above. Q26. It's almost the only class where I'm not wasting my time. Which class is Albert talking about here? History. Mathematics. Science. English. Q27. Why was Einstein summoned by the head teacher? To ask him to leave the school. To punish him for bad work. To reward him for his work. None of the above. Q28. What sort of a student Einstein was according to his teachers? Insincere. Rebellion. Troublesome. All of the above. Q29. Why did Albert feel that the medical certificate was burning a hole in his pocket? Because it had cost him money. Because it proved to be of no use. Both A and B. None of the above. Q30. Who did Albert Einstein meet before leaving Munich? His maths teacher. Elsa. Yuri. The head teacher of the school. Q2. The story Ranga's marriage is set in a village of Madurai, Bangalore, Mysore, Bhubaneswar. Q3. What is the name of the narrator's village? Hosavali. Punchavali. Hadanoru. None of the above. Q4. How does the narrator speak of his village? Passively. Vividly. Inadequately. Both A and C. Q5. What does the narrator mention as a priceless commodity? To his native language. To mangoes of his village. To flowers of his village. To English language. Q6. Who was Ranga? The narrator's son. The accountant's son. The doctor's son. None of the above. Q7. Why was Ranga's homecoming a big event? Because he brought gifts for everyone. Because he was new in the village. Because he returned from Bangalore after studying there for 6 months. All of the above. Q8. An old lady checked for Ranga's __ birthmark. Sacred piercing. Sacred tattoo. Sacred thread. Q9. After knowing that Ranga was the same, the crowd was _ disappointed. Happy. Angry. Irritated. Q10. How does the narrator speak of Ranga's character? Poorly. Highly. Manipulatively. Does not speaks of his character. Q11. As for his namaskar to me, he did not do it like any present-day boy. What does it tell about Ranga? He was well-mannered. He was disrespectful. He was forgetful. He changed his caste. Q12. What was Ranga's initial take on marriage? He wanted to marry immediately. He wanted to marry a girl chosen by his parents. He wanted to remain a bachelor. He wanted an arranged marriage. Q13. According to Ranga, what type of girl should one marry? Mature. Admirable. Both A and B. Not mentioned in the story. Q14. According to the narrator, who would make a suitable bride for Ranga? Narrator's own daughter. Rama Rao's niece. Narrator's niece. Rama Rao's daughter. Q15. How does the narrator describe Ratna? Pretty girl of 11. From a big town. Disrespectful. Both A and B. Q16. When Ranga reached the narrator's house, Ratna was _ sitting. Painting. Singing. Waiting. Q17. Ranga was _ about Ratna. Curious. Uninterested. Envious. Annoyed. Q18. She was married a year ago. Hearing this, Ranga was _ thrilled. Disappointed. Unconcerned. Surprised. Q19. What is the name of the narrator of the tale? Rang Appa. Shatri. Rama. Shyama. Q20. Come, let's go and see Shastri. Who was Shastri? The village doctor. A village elder. The astrologer. Not mentioned in the tale. Q21. Why was it not important to know Ranga's star? Because Shastri already knew. Because Shastri was taught beforehand by the narrator. Because Shastri was not well versed. All of the above. Q22. According to the Shastri, what was Ranga's concern? Concern for a girl. Concern for his studies. Concern for a job. Concern for his village. Q23. What sort of cue did Shastri suggest for the girl's name? Something found in the forest. Something found in the ocean. Something found in the sky. None of the above. Q24. Later on, Ranga got to know that Ratna was _ divorced. Widowed. Unmarried. Engaged. Q25. There's greater truth in that Shastra than we imagine. Who said this? Shyama. Shastri. Ratna. Ranga. Q26. Don't forget, I developed on the hints you had given me. What does the line suggest? Narrator tutored Shastri for what to tell. Everything that Shastri told was based on his predictions. Both A and B. None of the above. Q27. Why does the narrator call the couple childish? Because they were immature. Because they named their child after him. Because they were playful. Because they invited him for dinner. Q28. It's Shyama's birthday. Who has been referred to in this line? Ranga and Ratna's child. The narrator. A child in village. None of the above. Q29. After reading Ranga's marriage, who, according to you, played a major role in Ranga and Ratna's marriage. Rama Rao. Shastri. Ranga. Shyama. Q30. What sort of intentions does the narrator seem to have towards Ranga? He is mean. He feels responsible for his marriage. He is manipulative. He feels pitiful.